Allah, in the name of Him, the most beneficent, the most merciful. My name is Gabriel Morton, and I present you international YouTube program, and that is program is number 31. That is very important international radio speech and program. God bless you all, and thank you all of the broadcasters, describers. That is very important, not just for all of the human beings, all of the societies and nations, but also all the politicians and decision makers, great, effective people in the world, genius. So both politicians, both leaders and scientists, engineers, this is very important. So because we need to compress time and we need to save time, so I write it yesterday night this speech, and I speak as much as I can very quickly. Thank you anybody, any media, any radio and television who send my voice for great Nobel peoples. Hillary Clinton, Condoleezza Rice, retired politicians, retired ministers in the world, and nowadays people who govern in every country, from Kim Jong-un to Putin and Xi Jinping, and from Xi Jinping to European leaders, and for United States of America. Anybody, God bless you all. And if really you want to help nations and countries and world, for example, prevent global warming, you must please consider this speech very carefully and think very deeply about yourself and what you can do for all of the nations and all of the people. Obviously, what I can do for all of the nations and all of the peoples, I can make 1 billion new jobs for all of the nations, and I can help people to be younger, more healthy and wealthy, but we have to wait to make a united decision about everything. So I start very quickly and finish very quickly as much as I can. God bless you all, and thank you for listening and broadcasting. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and deliver to all. So I hope these sentences will remain after me after my death. Be universal. Be universal if you want to be president or king for all of the nations and all of the countries and all of the people. Be universal if you want to be president for all of the peoples in the world, all of the peoples who live on earth. Okay, today is 10 October 2023, and the title of this program is Gabrielism and 8 ways in front of the human beings if they want to save themselves and save Earth. For example, if they want to prevent global warnings, if they want to prevent global warnings, and even if they want to reverse global warming. 8 ways is equal to 8 otherwise minus 1. 8 ways is equal to 8 otherwise minus 1. Recent incidents, especially in Israel and Ukraine, proven us world needs a president or king or some board of the directors some judge, maybe some Supreme Court, or some high level ranks about jurisdiction, some bodies, some groups that they act similar to jury board or jury groups in the court, and they solve the disputes between people. They will solve the problems between nations and countries, and without leadership, without united leadership, without a president who is without any bias, world will go to chaos and murder and killing and disasters. This group or this leader or this president must be a man or woman who is without any bias. But when we talk about bias, what are we talking about? We are talking about bias that is based on racism. Some races know themselves more than others and more effective than others and more valuable than others. This bias would be made because of the nationality or country or other biases, for example, like biases that is because of religions. This is religious biases, biases based on nationalism, political viewpoints, or political schools like capitalism, Marxism, communism, and many others. So, we need a leader or president for all of the countries and all of the world who solve the problems and disasters. Otherwise, there is nobody that handle all of the crises, solve the problems, manage critical incidents or critical sometimes that is the critical disasters for all of the human beings. So we need somebody, some group of the leaders who accumulate their talents to solve the problems and do the right things. We need some group or some leadership, some judges, for example, something like Supreme Court, not just inside United States, a Supreme Court for all of the countries that do right things and keep peace between nations and help all of the nations and peoples in difficult conditions. And if you see some flames of the wars want to and will to extend to every place in the world, and a lot of people, maybe they are about to be murdered or be killed in the future incidents, we need a president, a leader for all of the nations and countries to help them in these hard circumstances and help people to handle and manage these situations that gonna to be out of the control of the human beings. These disasters you will see soonly in every places, in every corner of the world, and there is no place in the world, in every country, even the safe countries like Australia and Canada, they can't imagine themselves that they will be forever immune and safe from these troubles. As a result, you will see orphans illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, refugees, helpless, homeless peoples in the every corner of the world. And this situation is the subsequent of the disasters that you see because of mismanagement or not having management, international management for the problems that will happen between different nations, different religion followers, etc., etc., etc. So, if we want to stop these disasters, we have to do something. And that is exactly similar to the country. For example, a country like United States of America, like China, like Russia, they need a president, a leader. Having a president or king or leader or manager, even if this manager is dictator, is better than not having any king or manager or somebody who is responsible for the problems. Nowadays we don't have such like a man or woman for the world. So you see the troubles between Ukraine and Russia, and you see problems between Israelis and Palestinians, and this is because world has not leader, world has not a king, and world has not anybody from ladies and gentlemen to solve the problems and make judgment between nations and peoples, and this is and that is necessary for this such man or woman, such a lady or a gentleman. Absolutely, he must be without any bias. Nowadays, there is no distance between people. Maybe at the time of Genghis Khan, about 700 or 800 years ago, if Genghis Khan or any other dictator, brutal dictator or tyrant king want to send message to other side of his territory, he sent messenger by horse, and maybe they go for 1 year and come back and bring answer or response by neighborhood or by neighbor country. That longer maybe 1 year. But nowadays the distance between the cities and countries is meaningless, and you can travel by your personal jet, or by, even if you don't want to travel, you can sit in your house and send your message to other side of the world, to other corner of the world. So the world is changed, and all of the countries is similar. The small cities in a great country, I am talking relatively to 1,000 years ago. So we need a king for Earth, and we need a president for Earth, and we need a choose. We need choosing democratic. We need to make election, the most civilized elections during the history of the human being. We have to do this to choose a president for all of the nations and all of the countries, somebody who is legitimated by 8 billion people who live on earth. So human being, as a great that is the great international needs to find a leader who is trustable, and to find a president and choose a president who solve all of the problems, otherwise. This otherwise is very, very, very important. Otherwise, you see what will happen in Ukraine and what will happen in Israel and what will happen in other corner of the world. The murders and killing innocent people and children and women will be repeated over and over during the history and during the future history, the future incidents. So you can choose between famous people or any great appropriate men or women, ladies and gentlemen, a president or king or ruler for all of the countries, somebody who has enough knowledge, somebody who has enough knowledge, somebody who has enough wisdom, somebody who is trustable and is accepted by all sides of the powers in the world, all sides of the power, left or right. Somebody who has clear, respectful history, personal history, and somebody who really want to serve all of the human beings, somebody who has great power for make great decision and judgment between nations, somebody who can judge between nations without any biases, somebody who take care about the benefits for all of the human beings, and somebody who don't think just about his or her own profits or benefits. He or she doesn't just think about the profits or benefits for his own nationality or country or race or religion. Somebody who take care about all and all of the peoples as a human beings is equal for him. Maybe you say United Nations has such position, but United Nations can't be an organization without any bias and has not legitimacy and authority and military troop and is corrupted organization. And I am serious about that. United Nations is a corrupted organization, many like other international organization and NGO. So we have to make election. For example, United Nations is not accepted by China and Russia. They never respect in their heart about such organization who is inside the most rich city in the world, New York, and want to take care about the poverty inside Africa. Nobody think United Nations is legitimated. So we have to make elections. We have to make elections between nations and the international democratic. We have to make international democratic platform for this voting, and any noble man or woman must think to nominate himself or herself if he think he or she is deserved to be president for all of the nations. So this is the peak point and the topmost level of the civilization during the history of the human being on earth. This is the topmost and peak of the civilization if we make such democratic free elections that all of the 8 billion people come and participate to choose a leader for all of the countries. And this is possible, and I will do that by help of you, any of you from 8 billion people societies in the world. Doesn't matter you live in the most poverty places, most poor people inside a village inside India or Pakistan, or in the top most high level of the wealth at New York or Beverly Hills inside United States. It doesn't matter you are aristocrat in Moscow or you are a poor farmer inside the desert inside Africa. We want to do something on behalf of benefits and profits for all of the nations. For the first time during the history of the human being, nobody is chosen by God. For the first time during the history of human being, nobody is chosen by God or gods. Nobody is chosen by himself or herself. Nobody is chosen by cruelty and tyranny and religion or by attack to other countries and conquer over there and by dictatorship manners and approach. Nobody can obtain the presidency or kingdom on earth by tempting other people, other nation, by cheating other people, by promise of the money and power and sex pleasure. If you see, 1,000 years ago, all of the dictators, all of the tyrant king give promise of the money and power and sex pleasure to their troops to dominate for domination over other nations and other countries. But we are at the peak of the civilization, and by help of help by you to do this great movement from every country, from Putin to Trump, and from Trump to Condoleezza Rice and Clinton, from Clinton to ordinary people inside India. Everybody who believe in civilization must take participation in this great decision making, and this is profitable for all of the 8 billion people who live on earth. So for the first time during the history, nobody is chosen by God or any religion. uh, Give me just a few seconds to drink a little. Few seconds to drink a little tea. Thank you so much. So, choose somebody or group or some group. They are problem solver in high rank levels. In some places that there is nobody. I am sorry. Just give me a few seconds to concentrate. Nowadays, there is nobody, obviously, who solve problems, and nobody is trustable. And this is because nobody is trustable. This is because he or she is belong to some nations. That is very, very important point. Nobody is trustable to be president or king for all of the nations and all of the country because he belongs himself to some nationality, to some country, to some races, to some religion, to some company, to some culture. Every of these factors is make limitation for you who is listening, who are listening to me, and make trouble and obstacle in front of your way if you want to be president for all of the nations and all of the world. So if you want to truly be servant for all of the nations and all of the countries, you must pass over these obstacles. You have make yourself free from any bias, religious bias, nationalism bias, economic school bias, etc., etc., etc. So anybody who is listening to me, if think deeply and trust my judgment, you are not independent or free from any bias because you are cling to bias making factors, religions, nationality, company, and I told and I don't want to repeat. So we don't have time, so I have to finish soon. So he or she, this group who want to be trustable and trustworthy for all of the nations, to be at the peak of decision-making groups for all of the countries and all of the nations. Who anybody who want to serve all of the human beings, want to solve international problems. My recommendation for you is, and my recommendation for potential nominees, potential candidates, like Pope Benedict. Pope Benedict is one very, very good option and candidate. Putin, also Clinton, also Condoleezza Rice, many others from every corner of the world. If you want to make yourself ready and appropriate to be in this position as a president for all of the countries and all of the beings, all of the human beings, even Ben Salman, you must, even celebrities, international celebrities like Lionel Messi or Ronaldo or whatever, Prince of UK, many other, we don't have time, Alana Baerbock, Angela Merkel, many other. If you want to be president for all of the countries and all of the earth, you must pass over these obstacles or over these biases. You must separate yourself from any groups and be independent and ask all of the nations to support you and believe you as a man, as trustworthy gentleman and trustworthy gentlewoman, ladies and gentlemen, who is deserved to be president for all of the countries and for all of the nations. So you are listening me in every place must pass from these obstacles. What is these obstacles and barriers? That is sexism, radicalism, and nationalism, religions. So you must pass over sexism. Even as a pop, you must pass over sexism. You are pass over your religion. You must be the Holy Father, not just for Christians, for 8 billion peoples. You must pass over your racism biases, your capitalism or Marxism and any other schools. And my recommendation, as somebody who has unbelievable gift for all of the nations and all of the countries, I have God-given trophies that I will declare and emerge those in the future months. I have a good gift for all of the human beings, a lot of good gift. For example, make yourself young again and make limitless life for anybody who is interested. You must pass over for this object. We have to